Then the scene shifts to the Kronos Emperor's palace, where the emperor wakes up in his bed and calls for his knight, asking if anyone is there. When he doesn't get a reply, the frustrated Kronos Emperor shouts, "Is anyone there?" And the knights quickly go to him. Then the scene shifts to a corridor, where Baron thinks to himself that Duke Bamford's 300,000 troops were defeated by Dimitry, so the emperor's fury must be immense. Baron can't believe Duke Bamford lost to Dimitry, as Duke Bamford was so sure of victory. Baron doesn't understand how this happened. Then we come to the throne room, where all the Kronos Empire soldiers and barons have gathered, and then enters the Kronos Emperor. As the emperor sits down on the throne, the Kronos Emperor declares that he deeply feels responsible for this unjustly started war, and the Kronos Emperor hereby declares a ceasefire. Everyone is shocked to hear this. A duke asks the emperor what this means, and then a baron further states that even if Kronos lost to Dimitry in battle, some of Kronos' forces are already on missions towards Umberto and the kingdom of Odelia, and now the emperor suddenly declares a ceasefire. Hearing this, the angered Kronos Emperor states, "Is the baron going to defy the emperor's orders?" Everyone gets scared and stops talking. The baron tells the emperor, "Of course not," and says he will carry out His Majesty's ceasefire order. A ceasefire, an unexpected turn of events, was decided by the Kronos Emperor's imperial decree. Meanwhile, news of victory on the Western Front turned the capital of Cairo into a festive atmosphere. Then the scene shifts, where Roman introduces himself to Luna, and Isabel introduces herself as well. Roman states that the historical figures recorded in ancient books, Sven, Mystic, Schiefer, and even Alexander, people who should not exist in this era, are alive as well in Kronos. Roman asks Isabel directly, "What's the truth that Kronos is hiding?" Isabel replies that for Roman to understand the truth, it's important that Roman must know about Luna's prophecy. A very long time ago, the gate of the world opened, and a freezing aura blanketed the world. The calamity left in the world persisted forever. In fact, not long after the prophecy was given, Arcadia's world tree froze. Isabel further states that the calamity isn't something like cold or death. What it truly means is that through the world, a being fell onto the salamander continent, a single human being. Roman gets surprised hearing that a human fell onto the salamander continent. Luna states that the human was filled with greedy ambitions, accepted the power of darkness, and devoured the Kronos Empire. Isabel's ancestors have long carried the role of guardians and suppressed the calamity, but now Isabel's kingdom has reached its limits. Roman inquires, "Who is that human?" Isabel replies that the human's name is Alexander, the emperor of Kronos, who founded Aura. Roman gets surprised hearing this. Luna further states that with Alexander's appearance, Aura's swordsmen were born, knights gained power. Emperor Alexander is a being possessed by a soul from another world, a being from another world who already knew how to wield Aura. When that being first appeared in this world, records state that the being claimed a strange, hard-to-pronounce name as his own. That name was Kim Pan-suk. Hearing this, Roman thinks that it's a martial artist from Yongwon. One day, while gathering herbs in the 10,000 Great Mountains, dark clouds gathered overhead, and as if God were enraged, the sky sucked something in. Kim Pan-suk, staring blankly at the scene, was sucked into the sky along with it. It was pure chance that the commoner Kim Pan-suk was chosen. Then we see a woman asking Alexander if he is all right. Alexander, who is now Kim Pan-suk, replies that his name is Kim, though. Before the eyes of a poor man who struggled daily for survival, a noble status as a prince appeared. A dazzling new life unfolded in this new world, and Kim was so happy, and Kim wished all of this could last forever. But as time passed, cracks appeared in that happiness. Alexander was not a legitimate heir, and Alexander realized that when the next emperor was chosen, he would be purged. Alexander was nothing but an ignorant, poor commoner, and Alexander wondered what he could even do, as there must be some way. Then Alexander remembers his past life and thinks that there is a way. As in this salamander continent, magic exists, but martial arts do not. If Alexander can use martial arts, then Alexander will become the next emperor. After that, Kim Pan-suk locked himself in his room every day, struggling desperately to recall memories from his past life. Then Kim remembers a third-rate martial artist passing by, and something that man had once said. To anyone else, it sounded like mere bluffing from nobody. But to survive, Alexander clung to the memories of his past life. After countless failures, Alexander's mana gathered at the Dantian energy center, and Alexander witnessed the formation of Aura. Thus began the legend of Alexander, the swordsman who had always been taken down before mages were able to dream again with the great change called Aura. Alexander, who had been pushed back in the line of succession, instantly secured his place as a key power. However, the aura that Alexander invented is just a shallow imitation of martial arts, and it was only a poor mimicry. And the higher someone climbs, the more its flaws become obvious. The desire not to lose power gradually grew into obsession and madness, and eventually Alexander faced a new failure. Then a devil tells Alexander that if Alexander follows the devil, then the devil shall grant Alexander power, a devil's whisper. That day, Alexander cast aside his sword and accepted the dark mana. This is the truth behind what everyone treats as gospel, the truth of Aura. Then the scene shifts to the present, where we see Mystic explaining to Alexander about the situation and how the Kronos Emperor declared a ceasefire. Mystic further explains that it seems Shafir's destruction severed the link, and Shifir lost control of the dark mana. Then Alexander states that he has controlled Kronos emperors for generations, but this emperor refuses to fully lose his consciousness. Then Mystic asks Alexander what they should do about Roman Dimitry. Hearing this, Alexander thinks to himself that Roman Dimitri's strength was beyond expectation. Moreover, that power looked like martial arts. If that's the case, there is a high chance Roman is a dimensional traveler like Alexander. Unlike Alexander, Roman truly knows martial arts. If it's Roman, perhaps he wouldn't have accepted the darkness like Alexander did, and could have stirred a different upheaval on the continent. Alexander wants to see Roman's power with his own eyes. Then Alexander tells Mystic that there is no need to rush. Alexander admits Roman is a threat, but Roman is merely an aura swordsman with limits. Alexander thinks to himself there's no need to let Mystic learn too much. Angered, Alexander states, does Mystic think Roman could be a match for him? Scared, Mystic replies absolutely not, as Lord Alexander is already an immortal mage, so defeat for Lord Alexander is unthinkable. Then Alexander tells Mystic that overturning an imperial decree won't be easy, so they will proceed with the situation as it is. But that Isabel, the war with Isabel will resume soon. When that time comes, the 1,000-year grand plan of the Kronos Empire will be unstoppable. Mystic starts to smile hearing this. Then the scene shifts to Roman and Isabel, where Isabel tells Roman that the reason she revealed the truth to Lord Roman is because he defeated Shifir despite not having holy energy. To save the Salamander continent, Isabel asks Roman to please lend her his strength. Roman replies no. Surprised, Isabel asks if Roman is saying he will abandon humanity. Roman replies that's a separate matter. As the enemy of Dimitri is the Kronos Empire, Roman will drag it to complete destruction. However, Roman is not someone who speaks of sacrificing for the continent. Annoyed, Isabel states that their goals are aligned. So isn't there no reason to refuse? Roman replies their goals are not aligned. Frustrated, Isabel thinks that Roman wasn't the prophesied warrior sent by the gods. Roman states he is acting for personal goals, and Roman wants to bring down Kronos. Roman further asks, if Kronos were to use countless lives as leverage, could Isabel abandon the people and take down Alexander? Isabel remains silent. Roman states that's the difference. As if it were Roman, in such a moment, he wouldn't hesitate for a second. But that doesn't mean Roman wishes for a hostile relationship with the Luna Kingdom. Even if Roman and Isabel don't work together, Kronos will fall. That is the only promise Roman can give to someone who has long dedicated themselves to Salamander. The only promise Roman can give Isabel. Hearing this, Isabel wonders what Roman is thinking. Then Kronos Emperor's ceasefire order changed the situation. Then we see Baron asking his soldier about the situation. The soldier tells Baron that the operation is proceeding as planned. Kronos forces have warped to the capitals of Umberto and Odelia. In Odelia, within the inner castle, the royal army's resistance is about to be taken down. A few days at most, soon both kingdoms will declare surrender. Baron states it's too late to turn back. As Duke Bamford's 300,000 troops attack Dimitri, Umberto and Odelia used the alliance as a pretense and deceived Kronos. It was supposed to be a perfect invasion. Even that half-success was ruined by the Kronos Emperor's ceasefire declaration. Then the soldier inquires what they should do. Baron replies that they can continue the operation for now. First, Kronos will take Umberto and Odelia. Then, in the ceasefire negotiations with Dimitry, Baron states that Kronos will use Umberto and Odelia to gain the upper hand. But the soldier asks about the imperial order. Baron states he will report to the Kronos Emperor himself. So the soldier must remain quiet and should tell the commanders that within 3 days, they must completely secure control over Umberto and Odelia. And Baron will make sure that things don't go Roman Dimitry's way. Then the scene shifts to Odelia's capital, where 2 royal battalions of the Odelia kingdom have been taken down, and the warp gate has also completely fallen into enemy hands. Odelia has no way of stopping the Kronos Empire from warping in. The royal knights were completely taken down by the Kronos Knight Order. Even the retreat path is blocked, so there is no escape. Shocked, the king of Odelia thinks that everything is over. Back when they aligned their future with Kronos, the king of Odelia believed, though painful, it was the right choice for the kingdom's future. But the reality before the king of Odelia is more hopeless than he could have ever imagined. Then the Kronos soldiers reach the palace's main gate. The king of Odelia orders his knight not to open the gate under any circumstances. At that moment, a soldier informs the king of Odelia that Dimitry, acting alone, has won a full-scale war against Kronos. The king of Odelia is stunned to hear this and wonders where exactly things went wrong. Was it his failure to recognize Dimitri's strength? The king of Odelia tries to calm down, as Dimitry is hostile toward Kronos. If they don't abandon the Kronos alliance, then this might actually be an opportunity. Then the king of Odelia orders his knight to establish magical communication with Dimitry immediately. Then, as they connect directly with Roman, the king of Odelia tells Roman that the Kronos Empire is attacking Odelia, and there is no time. So he pleads with Roman to save them. Roman replies, "Why should Dimitry help the Odelia kingdom?" The king of Odelia is shocked hearing this. Roman further states, if Kronos directly attacked Odelia's capital, doesn't that mean the king allowed them to warp in? The king of Odelia admits it's their mistake, but warns that if Odelia and Umberto fall to the empire, then the balance of the kingdom alliance will break. Is that what Roman wants? Hearing this, Roman smiles and states the king of Odelia is clearly misunderstanding something. The king has already crossed a river he can't return from. For kingdoms excluding Odelia have entered the fence of Roman's protection: Hector, Redford, Frank, and even Umberto. The king of Odelia is shocked to hear this. Roman, with a serious face, states that there is no place for Odelia in the new kingdom alliance.